Hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka.
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 Hakainde watitonda nadi, Nchito ni kuyoboya waka, Vilaizgo vyose vya waka waka, Kusuzgika kwa kura mwe bantu mwe,
Nadi nadi. Hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka,
hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka,
hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka. Hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka,
hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka,
hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka.
wakati wakati walina mahala kono mahala yalinkulelo tengo hofu wakwera muchanya sono bakavu bakulira chitima bo nadi 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 nadi
Hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka
hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka
hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka. Hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka
hakainde watondeka nadi,
watondeka
hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka.
tiletelani nyali kuno kukaya alundazi box one kanele mundubile na munyake make bibiza na mama Abrenda Nyirenda Simbiza Jelemani Hakainde luta luta
Watondeka,
Hakainde luta luta
watondeka,
Hakainde
watondeka, watondeka. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka,
Hakainde luta luta
watondeka,
Hakainde luta luta
watondeka.
Bazambia, ba youth, Mwema farmers Mwalubuka. Kibukishi miaka Lord's heading. Iliashili ya buino talifisama. Tulefwa inchungulushi shamano. Mundo bile na makebi. Miaka ya kala kwa limisebu ama bridge, ma school na ma hospitals abantu bale mfwa bwinu impia shale sangwa mu matown na mu compound nomba shisangwa fye muli bapompwe batile bakaleta buyantashi bakawamya inchalo efyo batile nomba abantu bale lila kumitengo shafya kulya imitengo ya fuel Twikatane baletila rule of law number bantu baletina nukulanda. Do you have a lawyer? Selective justice mumenso ya bantu ifunde lonse lifuilele abalya muntu onse. Hapa numba amachito kuingila na mashina nomba madata base bafwaya chance no butungulushi bwa bwino manifesto yabo nomba yonse ni pia ngama solution malaide yalikwi kanchi ya maansa si yalikwisa abantu balefwaya umutendele nsala ipwe ulubuto intungulushi shamano twikakane nga Zambia mundubile na makebi mundubile na makebi ebo tulefwaya lesa tapela tambika afye na tutambikila intungulushi shamano abakwete vision ya chalo baba kalubula bachelo tatulefwaya infinfi tulefwaya ulubuto Zambia yakwe
Electoral Commission of Zambia would like to reiterate that, as earlier advised, the first consignment of ballot papers should have arrived in Lusaka today, Sunday, 26th June 2026. However, there has been a revision to the charter flight schedule by the air operator. Therefore, the two consignments, which should have arrived on Sunday and Monday, will both be delivered on a single flight, capable of carrying 100 tons, as I had mentioned a little earlier. I would like to reiterate that originally the flights that should have carried the two consignments were capable of carrying 40 tons per flight. So the flight which was scheduled for Sunday and the flight scheduled for Monday will both be put on the same flight, and a portion of the third flight will also be included on this single flight. This single flight, which is carrying 100 tons, will depart Dubai on Monday at 23 hours Dubai time, which is 21 hours Zambian time. It will arrive in Lusaka in the morning of Tuesday, 28th July at 05 hours Zambian time.
We are supposed to send the first delivery on Sunday, but due to some technical issue with the aircraft, now we have rescheduled the timing and we have communicated to the commissions. So now we have decided to send the bigger plane, which will carry the pallets of the first flight, second flight, and few pallets of the third shipment. So that's what we have decided, and it will leave on Monday evening, and all the further details commission will agree. And what we will give you the packing list of all the pallets which will be loaded in the bigger plane, so that commission can,
Viva! 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 Viva!
Umuntu atisanga uko twali kana na tuwishe ni motoka nshikire nyina pesa pape boss ni munena muni motoka tumelanda ya sana kwa mungu boss tumalanda pape tumalanda yakani malanda without a question question boss question
Maybe just an explanation of what transpired.
What transpired, I just saw around 06 in the morning. There were plenty of vehicles, officers were jumping out, trying to hit the gate, others were on the offense, but they could not jump in because my dogs were outside, my village dogs were outside, they could not jump in. So I called my legal counsel, who came and talked to them. We told them, wait, we opened for you, give me a chance to talk to my client, which they did. After that, we opened for them, and we read what was on the search warrant they were looking for. They said they suspected, they had information that I was keeping some firearms which were stolen from somewhere. So when they entered, they asked me,
President Hakainde Hichilema received a thunderous welcome from Mazabuka residents during a campaign rally this afternoon. Addressing thousands of supporters, President Hichilema said the government has delivered significant development across the country and pledged to do even more re-elected. He urged Zambians to vote for the ruling United Party for National Development UPND in the upcoming general elections.
From Lusaka through into Kafue, into Mazabuka, from Lusaka into Kafue, Mazabuka, Bonze, Choma, Kalomo, Livingstone, up to Kazungula, we are bringing a dual carriage.
Announced plans to upgrade Mazabuka General Hospital into a fully equipped referral facility.
Mazabuka population Yahula, we are upgrading the district hospital to a fully fledged general hospital. Ena magani mabotayo, tuyanda general hospital mu Mazabuka with all the specialist equipment, so that muntu wajiswa mu Mazabuka unina kutola ku Lusaka, unina kutola kuli kuhiligwa kukona kuno.
Meanwhile, President Hichilema criticized former local government and rural development minister and former Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament Gary Nkombo, saying their differences began a long time ago. He alleged that Mr. Nkombo associated with members of the former Patriotic Front, PF, while still serving in the UPND.
Mala hulumende gakuta gataliga kulabaliga banyina beni. Zambia.
Gary Nkombo, saying their differences began a long time ago. He alleged that Mr. Nkombo associated with members of the former Patriotic Front, PF, while still serving in the UPND.
Mala hulumende gakuta gataliga kulabaliga banyina beni. Zambia. Nengo ni ulule ulya Nkombo baberega mundubire. Materera baberega mundubire gamkandera gagwegalya agalira mpigalya chintujo omwembo bagapangana. Materera ono mwewe mulahumina kuti mwe buli mundubire. Mulahumina mumutobere Nkombo ena mulamutobera. Tubone matanyi banda kutobera.
Mundu vilele towembia, mundu vilele towembia.
wonderful day that the Lord has made. Thank you for joining us. Kindly share the broadcast. You are catching us on YouTube, on Facebook, and we have to be relentless. Only 18 days to go, and you will decide where the country goes. Does it go to the left? Does it go to the right? Or does it go in God's direction? The determination will be yours. And you have to turn up to vote. You have to turn up to protect the vote so that the will of the Zambian people is protected. We'll be doing an update of where we are 18 days before elections. I'll touch on issues of opinion poll. We might have to run our own opinion poll. We are receiving various reports, most of them confidential, of where the candidates are standing. And we will do our own also to establish where we think the candidates are standing. 18 days before elections, like I stated, there are many events, but Zambia will decide in the next 20 days. Zambia will decide, and it is you who will decide. Please share the broadcast. Kindly share the broadcast. We get on. The Tonse Pamosi Alliance Secretariat today held a press conference. I think I've got the video, I'll show it to you. Zumani Zimba, good to see him back at base. He's back at base while, you know, the president and the presidential team are on the Copper Belt. And Zumani Zimba, Celestine Mukandila, you know, Sylvia Chalikosa, and Kenneth Kamba, we saw them hold a press conference. I think they are worried about the state of the electoral process. They were issuing an alarm bell on the ballot papers that should have arrived, I think, on Friday, and they've not arrived, and the delay was not explained. But you saw I played a video that has come from ECZ in their last minute explanation to demonstrate where the ballot papers are. So the Tonse Pamosi Alliance demanded that there should be an audit when the ballots come in, and that there should be a transparent process where they are taken, if they are taken to Silverest, a new warehousing facility that was built by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and that there should be allowed access. Even if the place is secure, it is important that you audit what is in the warehouse before this material comes in. And when the material come in, they are coming to an empty space or to materials that are already in the warehouse, but material that has been approved could be part of the electoral process. Any hidden process, they raised alarm that the ECZ, as the suspicions are, continue to undermine the electoral process. Remember, stakeholders have raised issues of the composition of ECZ at board and management level, and the enactment of Electoral Process Act that seemed to disadvantage you, the voter, asking you, the voter, to leave, you know, refusing that parallel voter tabulation should take place. These things have been enshrined in the law. And with other concerns from Bill 7, ECZ haven't been an independent umpire. ECZ haven't been a fair arbiter. In fact, the conduct of ECZ will determine not just if Zambia will hold democratic, free and fair elections. The conduct of ECZ has capacity to determine the direction of our country. If they conduct themselves fairly, constitutionally, we'll have a peaceful environment and Zambia will hold democratic elections. If they misbehave, they are underhand methods, they can tilt the country to what you and I do not want. Civil unrest, civil protest, public protest, or protest against the entire process. And then you know what will happen is President Hakainde may declare a state of emergency, unleash the police and the army on our country. That we don't want. So our appeal to the Electoral Commission of Zambia is be loyal to the Constitution. Don't be loyal to the UPND. Don't be loyal to President Hakainde Hichilema, be loyal to the Constitution and the laws that govern you. We've expressed concern that you have officials such as Mwangala Zalomis, Zevyanji Sinkala, and McDonald Chipenzi that are sitting on the board of commission. And we have the people running elections. We have no confidence in them because of their past. They are properly qualified, Brown Kasolo and Dr. Collins Kachaka, but there are concerns about their intentions and motive to tilt the election towards UPND. This is a call for all of us to be responsible. I ran a newspaper called EMV, and we issued an editorial against defense forces. We rarely comment about defense forces because our defense forces are sacred in our country. They've helped keep our peace, our security and stability. What we enjoy is as a result of the professionalism of the defense forces. They've never allowed internal rebellion because of their conduct. But as Dr. Fred Membe issued an alarming statement, which we have agreed on, is that the conduct of the three key officials at Zambia Army, ZNS, and Zambia Police are putting again our country into a sense of insecurity and instability. As soon as the head of the Zambia Army is seen to be partisan, conducting partisan activities, issuing public statements, that border on threatening the public, on promoting a partisan agenda of the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema, that becomes a matter of worry. He can face internal rebellion and he can face public outrage, public protest. Similarly, the ZNS, my dear brother Lieutenant General Solochi there, the kind of and extent of corruption being spoken there, and also how he has conducted himself in recruitment and attempting to turn ZNS into another Zambia Army. No, ZNS has a constitutional mandate. That is why the head of the ZNS has always been a commandant until I think Wachileche, the previous army ZNS commander. They were at Major General. For that purpose, Dr. Kaunda had created the ZNS as like a standby reserve to the Zambia Army, and it had a specific role, build roads and grow food for our country, not just for the army, but for our country. That was a specific purpose of the Zambia Army. Also, attend to the youth unemployment crisis, where you bring in these youths, you give them skills. That was a role. That's what is defined in the constitution by ZNS. But it's been elevated to now, he holds the same position and rank as the Zambia Army commander. And there are a lot of things happening there. Our caution is very simple. The defense forces should be loyal to the Constitution, to their ethics and practice. The Army commander was distributing an endorsement of, Zambia's first commander, General Chinkuli. He had endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema, stating that President Hakainde Hichilema should proceed and should be supported, and that Zambians should vote for him. And the endorsement was being distributed by Lieutenant General Ziele. That's totally unethical. He put it in their WhatsApp groups for generals, and in the generals, the retired commanders, he put it in. And I think he was inspiring a flock, what we call a flock endorsement, where a group of people of like mind or stakeholders then agree with that message and also issue their own endorsement, so that you have a flock endorsement from the defense and security personnel. I think that was totally partisan. It's important that General Ziele watches what he is doing. We are aware of the corruption allegations that were against him. We are aware of how SEC were forced to stop those criminal investigations, like they did on Tabo Kawana and the 5 cabinet ministers. They were in one lot. They were being investigated for corruption. But he now sits as commander of the Zambia Army, and his conduct must be above board. I'll not even encourage you to make a call in regard to the matter of the defense and security, or a pillar to our peace and security. So we have to be responsible. However, when there's misconduct and misbehavior, we have to call it out. If there is looting and corruption under the cover of the secrecy and under the cover of the sacredness of the army, we have to call them out. And we are not happy with the conduct of ZNS, Zambia Army, the heads of ZNS, Zambia Army, and Zambia Police. For Grafael Musamba, he has deployed Yui Mwala, who should have been recalled from the Copperbelt, and given him direct instructions that he should not allow the rallies to take place. You saw that the team for Tonse Pamoja Alliance, Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, were scheduled to hold various rallies across the Copperbelt, and they've been delayed, stored, or totally disturbed. In Luanshya, they were supposed to have a rally in Mpatamato, in Ron, and in Mikomfa. They could only manage the one in Mpatamato, which was a huge turnout. Awena Mpatamato to a total pamulimo mwabo mbele, and you turned out in large numbers. They blocked Luanshya road to Luanshya. Elo mwarishiwa I town ndiye sidia ku Luanshya na mwari yako ku Luanshya tokata fyo musebo moda au inofuma from Kitwe Ndola Joe Carriageway into Lusaka. When you block that, of course there are other routes like through Mpongwe, through Ibenga to come through Mikomfa, but they blocked the main road and they delayed Mundubile and Makebi Zulu for a long time, and they could only manage one big rally in Luanshya. We saw the misconduct of the police yesterday and today. Today, they stopped Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu in Chambeshi and in Mufulira. But our people turned up, and the leaders are being innovative. They abandoned the vehicles and walked to the rally while the police. So the conduct of Grafael Musamba, Inspector General of Police, the Tonse Pamoja Alliance are following a register issued by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. You have no business in attempting to stop the rallies. I was looking at the videos of Mufulira. Mufulira seems to have been the biggest so far. I don't know, the people on the ground can tell you, but the mass crowd I saw, you can only rival it to, I think, to Kasama. And Kasama, became one of the biggest rallies. First we had Kitwe, KPF, you came to Kabwe. The rallies kept on growing. Petauke, Chipata, Lundazi was one of the biggest rallies too. But if you go to Mpika, Chinsali, Isoka, Nakonde was one of the biggest. But Kasama came and I think Kasama turned up and became the largest rally. And of all the rallies I've seen, from Chiengi, Nchelenge, Kawambwa, Mansa, Samfia, and now on the Copperbelt, I think today's rally in Mufulira was the biggest, and I'll get you the images to see that. So that is the concerns around the defense forces. They ought to be neutral. Their neutrality guarantees our peace, our security, and stability. It is a known fact that every time the defense forces have acted partisan, they raise, like I said, both internal rebellion and public protests. And so far, so good. Our defense forces have acted above board. But recently, we've seen even Zambia Army conduct what they are calling provincial tours by the Army commander. And even those are suspicious. The statement is issuing. Remember, this is a gentleman that had said he was going to fumigate illegal miners, gold miners, and he had said he was going to fumigate and exterminate, as if he was talking about cockroaches, when he was talking about our young people that are merely attempting to fend for livelihood. The heads of defense forces must be above reproach. They shouldn't even be part of our debates when we are discussing our politics. But however, there are those concerns. I tackle the other matters, then I'll open the phone lines. Let's go to the other matters.
Ndetino kulanda mayo Antuna la pikaselo Ndetino kulanda mayo Antuna la pikaselo Nango na pikaselo Chalo chonse chaba kuselo Nango na pikaselo Chalo chonse chaba kuselo Ndetino kulanda mayo Antuna la pikaselo Ndetino kulanda mayo Antuna la pikaselo.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia would like to reiterate that, as earlier advised, the first consignment of ballot papers should have arrived in Lusaka today, Sunday, 26th June 2026. However, there has been a revision to the charter flight schedule by the air operator. Therefore, the two consignments, which should have arrived on Sunday and Monday, will both be delivered on a single flight, capable of carrying 100 tons, as I had mentioned a little earlier. I would like to reiterate that originally the flights that should have carried the two consignments were capable of carrying 40 tons per flight. So the flight which was scheduled for Sunday and the flight scheduled for Monday will both be put on the same flight, and a portion of the third flight will also be included on this single flight.
That's Ambassador Ndioi from the ECZ. She's one of the commissioners. She's former ambassador to Japan, and she joined the Electoral Commission in 2021. And she's one of those that have stayed on following the transition. She's in Dubai and she was making those announcements. Remember, Tonse Pamosi Alliance raised alarm that we don't know where these ballots are. They were scheduled to have arrived and there's no knowledge about where they are. And ECZ was forced to make that urgent announcement. They are saying they will now combine the two lots and they will arrive on Tuesday. Tonse Pamosi Alliance has demanded that there should be an audit when the ballots come, and where they're being taken to Silverest, there should be also a stakeholder inspection, so that there is a final audit of the matters, the material that are being brought are not being mixed. They are speaking to these issues. Remember, there were concerns and security reports that there were parallel vote printing that was taking place in Dar es Salaam. And ECZ dispelled that that is not true. The only ballots that are being printed are in Dubai. I have online my dear brother Henry Kabinga. Henry Kabinga is a founder member of the UPND. I invited him to be with me, but he's had difficult communications, but I can now see that he's connected. Henry, if you are listening, come back to your camera. Your camera is now active. I want to introduce you to our people so that you give us your views. Why have I brought Henry Kabinga? Like I said, he's a founder member of the UPND. His politics have been in the country and in Northwestern Province. And he has been very instrumental, you know, in giving analysis and supporting various governance issues. So why have I brought him? Because the boys are headed to Solwezi after the Copperbelt trip. And I wanted to understand this notion that the UPND holds stronghold in Northwestern, Western, and Southern Province. Honorable Kabinga, if you are listening, you are very active, you are on, but I can't see you. You've moved away from the camera. I want to introduce you and get your views quickly. We're having earlier challenges, but as soon as Mr. Kabinga comes, his camera shows me he's in the studio already, but is not on his chair. So, Honorable Kabinga, if you're listening, please come to the chair. We get your views about the UPND and their so-called strongholds. And you were founder member of the UPND. You helped establish UPND in Northwestern Province. So let us hear your views. The issue of ballot protection, ballot security, and the issue of the entire vote protection program becomes very key. We are not getting good reports. Our civil servant, Evans Hichilema is Assistant Secretary in Muchinga, in provincial government of Muchinga. But remember, his name came up on the WhatsApp group for recruitment of poor staff from Luapula Northern Province, Muchinga and Eastern Province. They've got that WhatsApp group. Is one of those groups also that, remember, had that discussion that has seen the arrest of Macpherson Mkuka from ZNBC because an audio leaked that they were plotting and planning of how to undermine the elections, how to pick poll staff that should help the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema, the role they should play in the interference of the vote for the president in favor of President Hakainde Hichilema. We are not hearing proper things from Evans Hichilema. There is a recruitment that he's doing. Remember what I talked about? Polling station committees. He appears to be also forming polling station committees, and his target is 168 people per polling station, and he's asking them to vote at a particular time between 13 hours and 15 hours. Now, if you and I have run elections, that's a difficult part in an election, because usually the party agents could have gone to have lunch. The monitors could have gone to have lunch. The other stakeholders, it's lunchtime literally. So there is a particular reason why Evans Hichilema is asking that in Eastern Province, in Northern Province, in Muchinga and Luapula, he seems to be the one manning this process. Our information is not solid about the rest of the country, but I can tell you that this is a replica plan they have. So they are recruiting at each polling station 168 people, and he wants names from those polling stations. And he has specific instruction that he's giving them, that they will vote between 13 hours and 15 hours. Will they be carrying stuffed ballots, or will they be handed over, these 168 people that will be members of the polling station? He's recruiting from the polling station itself. That is a communication that I have seen. So for our colleagues and people on the ground, you have to check the activities of Evans Hichilema. Evans Hichilema, my appeal to you, you share the name of the president. I don't know the relationship you have with the president. I don't want to allege anything. All I know is that Evans Hichilema has been in the civil service the last 20 years. I think when I was in Northern Province, he must have been a teacher at Luitikela. So I don't know if in any way is related to President Hakainde Hichilema, and I'm not going to impugn that. But his activities are worrying. His activities are worrying. As a civil servant, he's employing 168 people from each polling station in Eastern Province, Muchinga, Northern and Luapula provinces. This seems to be the ones under him. And he has asked council secretaries and town clerks to recruit these 168 and submit the names to him. And there are specific instructions, like I said, that that group of 168 people should vote between 13 hours and 15 hours. Evans Hichilema, you are a civil servant. And you are a civil servant not because of President Hakainde Hichilema. Like I stated, that I found you were a civil servant and you were a teacher right in Northern Province. Although you've been promoted recently when President Hakainde Hichilema is president, you know the role of the public service. You know the role of civil servant. There is no way. And remember, because of the name you share, there'll be scrutiny of what you do right from your office, right from the people around you, right from all the officials that you are interacting with. And you seem to be a key official for these 4 provinces. And we are exposing you, not because of malice, but because of your own activities. And if you wish to dare me, I can put out your communication and what you've been doing, and the so-called 168 per polling station. Desist, remain a civil servant, let the politicians do the work. If people are recruiting party agents, let your party UPND, let the UPND, you are a civil servant, do that job. Everything you do as a civil servant, and the name you carry, you know, you will be in trouble. I have a friend of mine, you know, he carries similar names as Mwamba. And when I was arrested, they were somewhere in Europe, and one of the ministers just said, "Naba mwikata Mwamba." You know, munonko naba mwikata. Munonko naba mwikata. Nani munonko? Te Mwamba. You know. So sometimes a Mwamba can suffer because people assume that I'm related to every Mwamba. So similarly, Evans Hichilema, I can vouch for you. You've been a civil servant, not because of President Hakainde Hichilema. And because of the name, you were quickly brought to our attention. But good to President Hakainde, good to Michael Sata, good to Edgar Lungu. They never fired you. They never victimized you. And that I loved about President Michael Sata, and both President Michael Sata and Edgar Lungu. They never protected you because of who you were, or harassed you because of who you were associated with. Sorry. They allowed you to work. I remember when I arrived in Northern Province as a PS, just a few days, there was a young man who was rampaging, harassing everyone, because a new president was his uncle. And when these reports were brought to me, I cautioned him. He proceeded. Do you know what I did? I suspended him and did the letter. When I suspended him, there were a lot of concern from my officials. They couldn't write that letter. And they said, "PS bala mitampienchtuni, you mwipo our president. I cannot have such misconduct at my office because you are nephew to the president. We are in the civil service and there has to be professionalism." And everyone was afraid for me. And that was just 2 weeks within taking office. But I had this disruptive, excited young man. And lo and behold, the phone rang. It was President Michael Sata. Nalekanka. I was warned, but I'm right, I'm going to explain. But before I could even explain, President Sata just told me, "Ningumfwa, if you're Chitirengalela that, is my nephew or my grandson, you've done very well. He's under your discipline. If he's misconducting himself, proceed even to fire him." Oh, I was emboldened. I was given comfort. And I let the suspension hang around for about another week to demonstrate that the man and the name he was abusing was a respected name, and he wouldn't allow his name to be abused that way. And he became professional, became distinguished public servant. That's what you do. You do not use these offices because the man is your president, the president is your uncle, brother, or whatever it is, and you abuse your office. There are ramifications. And this is what I would call upon the president, in the manner that President Michael Sata did, where he respected my authority because he had appointed me, and he didn't want any misconduct from anyone, including the perceived grandson or nephew at the time. So, Evans Hichilema, so, party agents are now being recruited. It's been, you're supposed to do it at district level. There are concerns that if the Electoral Commission can bring it to lower level, I can imagine far-flung places like Shangombo and others. They are far-flung that political parties, especially the opposition, may not have the means to bring their party agents and register them at a district. I would like to commend ECZ, because I feared that the registration would only be in Lusaka at Mulungushi. They've distributed it right up to the districts. They've also opened an online process to register the party agents. So for you, our party officials across the country, if you have an agent, help them. They may not know how to use the internet. And sometimes what I noticed in rural areas is they are still on 2Gs. You can't download the document, you can't watch a video, you can't do anything. There is internet, but it's poor. See how you can help register those, because there's an online process as well, other than the district, so that there's no excuse for us not to man the vote. There's no excuse for us not to be present in every district, in every polling station. It is important that we are there. So party officials from the opposition kindly do that. As I was even saying that although the main candidates in the Tonse Pamosi Alliance have two major political parties, NRPUP and RP Restoration Party, it's important that all party members, party alliances, You know, there's Heritage, there's Sakuba Scotters party. There are all those parties. It's important that they also pick a province and register their own party agents. This is imperative that we should, whether you have candidates in Southern, Western or Northwestern province, at least register party agents that should monitor the election for you. This is very, very critical. As you have seen, even in the stronghold, there's been an assertion that Hichilema may use the advantage of the absence of the opposition in his stronghold and manipulate the vote here. But as revealed by the information I've given you on Evans Hichilema, he's doing it right in our provinces where you think that you have the stronghold. So if you cannot monitor the elections properly, you can't observe, monitor it, and especially as a party agent, even audit the process, we may have a disaster across the country. I've always said never underestimate your opponent. Kurichmwela, you're not winner. You know, you're not winner. Opinion polls are differing. There's one opinion poll, Tonse Pamozi Alan says their candidate is leading by 68%. There is an opinion poll that was done by the private sector. They are saying there might be a rerun. The Brian Mundwile and Hakainde Hichilema will go head to head. There's even the vote for Harry Kalawa that's coming in under 10%, 8%, and that there might be a rerun. There are optimistic opinion polls that others are showing that Brian Mundwile will win by 53, 54%. Then there is some that are being done to calm the anger of President Hakainde Hichilema, where they are saying he's leading by 50, 60%. But you have to see the various opinion polls to have an idea. But what is clear is that this is a very tight election and every vote counts. You have to man that vote. There's also a target to colleges and schools, especially in rallies. We've seen vehicles go to colleges to pick people, especially in the period that President Hakainde Hichilema has had rallies. Vale vetati niwa Tunta party because of those big long trucks that are accompanying President Hakainde Hichilema, and they are targeting markets, schools and colleges to transport people to come to the rally. Why is President Hakainde Hichilema so invested in public perception? It's very clear. He has to show that he has mass turnout and that he has national appeal. It's very important for him to demonstrate that he has national appeal. If it has to succeed, then it has to succeed. And people, observers will say, but adequate abantu. Adequate kumarali squad abantu. Now, be aware. You can see how invested President Hakainde. Now that an my elections, if my teddy bear, we don't even have them as natural animals. Maybe we have Brian or lion. Why panga teddy bear? There's no animal in Africa that is a teddy bear. We don't have teddy bears in Africa. Why panga fika doli? So President Hakainde Hichilema is not joking. He's transporting people. He wants to show that he has national appeal, whether it's in Kaputa or Zambezi, whether it's in Changombo or Chama or Lundazi. He wants that image that he has a nationwide appeal. Why do you think he's investing on that public perception? Why do you think he's going to such a great extent to ensure that he has what may be perceived as a mass rally, including transport, college? Because you will not see them transporting these college and school pupils. You will not see them shut down markets during the period that is holding campaign, the rallies. You will not see that. What you will see are images on ZNBC, and you will say, my elections are, abantu baleba ti mundu birale wina, but nawa Hichilema naona kwata abantu. That is the idea. So tunakwaba ufumfu ntungu bakesa landati hao banena imobeni fefeya na wali kwata abantu. So be careful. While in fact Honorable Kabinga, you are hiding. I want to see you. He hasn't come to the camera. I don't know if he has cancelled, but I can see he's in the studio, and I wanted to get his view. As a boy's head, for me, I call them the boys because Hichilema wanted to reduce the name to show that they are either amateurs or inexperienced. But the issue of the boys is actually now very attractive. they're the boys that are coming to unseat him. So the boys are coming to Northwestern Province. They are coming to Western Province and Southern Province. And the idea, you might even see ZNBC follow you because they anticipate that you will have a reduced turnout so that they show you that you are merely a regional party, that you don't have mass appeal like Hichilema. They want you to see the Solwezi rally, Mongu rally, Livingstone rally, Choma rally, and compare to Hakainde's mass rally in Kaputa. The president has a nationwide appeal. So the police may even intensify what they were trying to do on the Copper Belt, trying to disrupt those rallies. So security team, those that are mobilizing these rallies, you have to work extra hard as you go to these areas because they will kick in the propaganda machinery against you to demonstrate that you are merely a regional party from regional excitement and that you have no appeal in Northwestern Province, Western Province and Southern Province, when it is not true. From what we are seeing, you may actually command as large rallies as you've had across the rest of the country. Yeah, in my previous broadcast, I dealt with the issue of the president and the president's remarks, where he literally insulted our dear brother Gary Nkombo, Awane, Fidata Wachitaba president, or President Tawachita Filia. You can insult Gary Nkombo. Why bring in his mother? Why bring in his mother? Why would you insult Gary Nkombo's mother? And then the following day, Mr. President, you were officiating a church function at SDA Youth Program. The previous day, Mwale took Gary Nkombo na wanyina. But President, be a father to all of us. That language is totally unacceptable. And it's not the first time that you have used that strong language. You've used insulting language, Mr. President. You have been very abusive in your language against your opponents. Whether it was Edgar Lungu, whether it's now currently the boys, now including your independents, your own independents, and people like Gary Nkombo. To Gary Nkombo, totally unfair. You've put false accusations against him. Do you have a video of Gary Nkombo explaining his role in the UPND? And what do you think? I think that the remarks by the president against Gary Nkombo were so unfortunate. Two issues before I ask you to speak. The violence on the Copper Belt we saw, I played a video of Pavuma being released by the police after holding him. They knew that he's a kingpin in Kitwe and was one of the mass organizers, like Emmanuel Mlenga in Ndola. In every district, you have these Michelle Kazala in Chingola. You have these very strong personalities that are very good at the politics. And we saw the police target Pavuma Kalobo and lock him up. They came to his house as early as 04 on the false premise that they wanted to investigate him, that he had armed guns. He doesn't have any. If he has a gun, it is personal to his personal security. And they were just decided to cripple him because they know apari Pavuma pala tenta, and that's why they locked him up. So we have seen the police abuse our people in a terrible way. The last issue is, the two last issues, wakanawe sawa chifunkana. You know, I saw him weep and I was moved. I was Zambia's ambassador to South Africa, and I took particular interest to Mahikeng as they call it, where the chiefs in Mahikeng, where there are platinum mines, are so wealthy because government made a deliberate decision that there shall be profit sharing where the national resources reside. So the chiefs in Mahikeng as they call it, the platinum mines are under their chiefdoms. And all my anti-rich So I used to take delegations of my ministers, because you know Zambia is urbanized, but mostly it's rural areas, and we have chiefs, our traditional leaders are literally poor. They have to beg politicians or government. They have to survive on these substantive interventions from government. Yet they sit on resources, the gold that is being mined, the copper that is being mined, the emerald for Chifunkana. Zambia holds now the largest emerald mine in the world. We've become now the largest producer of emeralds in the world. We are now producing up to 32%, and we've beaten Colombia, Thailand, and others in producing emerald. The emerald, the two, Grizzly Mining and Kagem, sit in Chifunkana. And look just how underdeveloped the area is. I was telling you in Mafikeng, the chiefs, one of the chiefs has the biggest stadium in Mafikeng that can sit up to 60,000, 90,000, 60,000 or 90,000, belongs to the chief. The adjacent shopping mall and hotel belongs to the chiefs. Why? The profits from platinum mining have been invested in the chiefdom. And whether they were smaller chiefs or bigger chiefs, they have investment. And government policy was to deliberately do that. And for Chifunkana, remember Chifunkana literally owned the copper belt in the ancient times. Even the benefits that came to the mines went to the Barose Royal Establishment, because there was an agreement with the Litunga, you know, Lewanika, who says far, that the entire area belongs to me. And in 1890, Cecil Rhodes used that exploration agreement, which is the foundation of this BRI treaty that people talk about. But there was an earlier document in 1890 which allowed Cecil Rhodes to mine the copper belt and repatriate the resources to the BRI, not to people like Chifunkana, where they are. And they use that document where even the Litunga, remember, didn't control copper belt. But these are sensitive matters and they require a lot of time. But the point is, we come back to now. Chifunkana, the emerald mines, and Mopani sits in his area. What does he benefit from? And you saw him cry. Here is the video.
Kulabira kwangi mashumu aleta yandetire nsoni kabiri yandetire obulanda bantu nebo aikana 27 years kawapungu ndio itero mwana yote akwe watu ndompero ya mama ko pama gold na bimi nisharo mumbi barasekera munimo sekera koyi ndikwete shuko intware mwenda nayo muli abana bakyalo bonabona nebona ukwawo mwana umbala abaenda mwintware jenu mwe ba president na ukwamu ba mwenya musenge na ukwamu ba sinkamba na ukwamu ba musukwa abana bakyalo bonsaba na mtote ba sinkamba.
Leaders, as you go around our royal establishments and our traditional authorities require respect. Not respect ya kutotafye mutotafye, but you've never guaranteed policies that should allow them to be our leaders, that should allow them to benefit from the economic resource that sits right under their feet. And they are a pitiful sight because they are forced to endorse political leaders after, now all the chiefs are being paraded to endorse President Hakainde Hichilema. And those that are refusing there's recrimination coming towards them. No. Let's give our people independence. You have the largest mines. Where you are going, you have the largest mines in Africa. They are in Northwestern Province. What do our people benefit? Occasionally, First Quantum and Barry Gold might take our chief to India or South Africa for treatment, but what do they benefit I was just telling you the chiefs in South Africa that have immense resources, including one owning a shopping mall. And that money is for the establishment. It's not the personal money for the chief. They own a stadium, 60,000 seater capacity. They own one of the largest 4-star hotels under franchise, I think, with Protea, their hotel. And even Wayatandela, because ACA is very active in Southern Africa. Remember, the ANC in South Africa was formed in 1912. And among the people that founded that party was the Litunga from Zambia. Is one of the 12 kings that signed the ANC document, the founding ANC document. But because of that history, so the Litunga is very involved in activities in South Africa, and also the activities that the ANC hold, because the Litunga is part of the 12 royal establishment that founded the African National Congress. So ACA can tell you about the welfare of the chiefs in South Africa, and especially those where mining takes place. You will see how wealthy they are. The country is never deprived of its resources, its taxes, and the return under domestic revenue. But a key share goes to wherever the mine sits. I wish Brian Mundubile should set up a similar policy, because the crying of our king, Chifunkana, who historically has been undermined and they've not allowed him to benefit from the resources that sits on the copper belt. And currently, the 2 largest mines, emerald mines in the world, are in his kingdom. And what do they benefit? The area is not even developed. The road to where Lufanyama area, Mpongo area, all those areas, the roads are terrible. We can do better. I'll be opening the phone lines, and someone has written a text that, yes, Ambassador, you are right about Evans Hichilema. He's always been a civil servant. His last posting before his promotion, he was at Impika Boys. Yes. For me, when I was PS, he was at Luitikila. I know him, and we never, he's been in Northern Province for as far as I know. And by virtue that he shares Evans Hichilema, people have been saying he's a young brother to the president. I have no idea if he is. However, his conduct in the electoral process has attracted attention and has attracted this criticism that I am putting across. So yeah, thank you very much. Someone says the police, why are we allowing the police for the first time? They are having masks on the copper, but the ones that have been deployed. This should be, this should be, in fact, a warning to President Hakainde Hichilema that the people is willing to abuse, the people is abusing, are not willing to even to show their face, because they know what they are doing is criminal. They know what they are doing is illegal. That's why they are covering their faces. But why should we allow? We are transitioned from police force to police service. Why should we allow the police with masks? Zambia decides. Let's take your phone calls. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and tell us your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Yangwe. First and foremost, Ambassador Mwamba, I'm urging all Zambians, wansabale umfa, tuileko kupepa, 20 days ya shala, mwende cha, wansabale umfa, tien tufukame kulile salionse for the next 20 days. Mune ni bale soko bafunya, noko bale tutwala, fionse file moneka fie winu, but na ifu bene, tieni tuambo kupepa. Second, Ambassador Mwamba, for me, I would just encourage all civil servants. Mune ni bela muwonfia. You've got a family to support, you've got a job to keep. Even when Mundubile and Makebi Zulu form government, I think the number one thing is they should separate the works of civil servants and that of the work of a party. Because it doesn't pay while you womba years yonsaya, then you just lose your job over a politician. Politicians go and come, but you've got a Zambia to protect and your job to protect. The third point is this. President, he has lost his or he's now doing Vale Filipino Vale 5 years ago. But one thing is forgetting, Ambassador Mwamba. The Zambian people are very wise and they know who he is and what he's capable of doing. So my encouragement to all Zambians, let us not be the people that have even time to listen to a man who is always dividing us, who is always saying bad things about the 2.8 million Zambians that voted for him. We're not just coming from one province. They came as Zambians. But for him, he doesn't see that. My last remark is tien tuombele chapamo tuileko kupepa mwenbantu. Ambassador Mwamba, we are also asking God to be upon you. Hii milimo yashala kwa 20 days. Bamwambanga mkwata tulia tuma clips over president wa HH Vale promise abantu. I think tien tuamba nombo kustali mind abantu to say uyu muntu wa mlefa ya mukavotele futi na leka hapa pene lekeni bambina bena balandeko. God bless you, Ambassador Mwamba.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Zimba.
Mr. Zimba,
calling from Mkoshi.
Proceed.
I want to find out the police in Zambia, like it was what a law we are towards some elections to the studies of parliament. Then why is it that the police they behave, their behavior is questionable, whereby Balachita you treat to a position, but knowingly why don't we, like I'm a parliamentarians, why don't we implement a law or a policy whereby time that towards some elections police, including these other institutions like ECZ, were neutral, so that there is a fair play. Because the same police officers which are troubling opposition they are winner. The same police will run away from the president, and they will be supporting it's more like the allegiance will shift from the current government to another party, another government which is going to come into power. So now I want to find out how parliament they don't analyze that law, because problems we were facing our opposition. They are not giving the leeway whereby they can campaign freely. They are abused. They are not even protected. So I want to find out from you, Nishimwe, who as the people nga mulimuna nikane mu government tamuchinja kwa mafunde yako ati mwadolokisha kwa ati these things should come to an end, because in South Africa the police will going to protect you. Okay? If you have got the right to protest, now in Zambia we don't have the right to protest, and we call ourselves a Christian nation and a democratic country, which is not the case. In South Africa, if you are protesting, it's constitutionally in their constitution, they allow it. But the police are going to protect you. So long you don't break anything, you don't break the law. But in Zambia, you have to apply that law of applying where I am apply a permit should come to an end.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay. This is Teska calling from Matero.
Teska, make your contribution.
Okay. Mr. Mwamba, this president we have right now, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is on a high gear to divide us. And as Zambians, we have to be very, very careful, because we need to get ourselves a simple example of what happened in 2021. 2021 HH got votes across the country, meaning there was nothing like tribalism. People, they wanted change that time. That's why they gave him votes from across the country. But now he has realized that he has lost popularity, and the only thing that he's trying to do, he wants to distract people from Southern Province and all those regions where he is popular, so that those people, no matter how unpopular HH becomes, those people, they should not switch their minds to look for other opposition or other leaders to vote for. The difference between the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and this current President Hakainde Hichilema during elections or during campaign period, that time our former President Edgar Lungu used to do his campaign within his rallies. He was commissioning projects, unlike this one.
Probably network. We've lost our dear brother, but he made his point. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Isaac, calling from Kafio.
Isaac, make your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador. Okay, Ambassador, I wanted to address issue about there's a video that I watched of Membe who is here. You know, as opposition, even if you are against your friend because you know popularity, you can just send your message there, whatever message. You remember when I was the campaign, opposition, abantu bali mu power for 10 years, therefore change. Your issue should be against the incumbent, not just because moving on from my friend because it's not used to me election. Another issue is Amari Maxi Abakateko Mapatizia. Now I start continue to preach division. To say no, they used to beat you. Maybe they should come out over they should come out to say no, they used to beat you. Same of preaching a few days ago. So now, what is he sending? Message in if they decide to say, okay, this is too much effort to vote in, is he going to be president? He's not going to be president. So I think there, the big man should revisit his remarks. Another thing is Bagari. I think Bagari is also just a coward because come to the opposition. Same with him.
Thank you, my brother. I think your line got cut. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay. So now, let me just conclude. This current police service we have at the moment is not helping us. And in fact, Mr. Mwamba, this is the very best moment that if you can compare to what Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is preaching to Southern Province, I think we should also have chance right now to tell the people of Zambia to say this president is dangerous to us. The reason being is because of his appointment. Currently, police officers, they are behaving as if they are all cadres from UPND. You can't expect someone who has been given 5 days to do his campaign in a province and then you distract that person. It's a sign that those appointments Hakainde Hichilema made, they are from one side. All of them, they are UPND cadres, and that's the reason why they are putting the masks on their faces so that we can't realize them. But you know, technology is very important. Most of them, we are recording their names. When that time comes, they will start crying. This appointment this current president made is not fair. That's why we call it Banana Republic, because out of 10 provinces, how come how come as a country we can have 6 police commissioners from one region? How? That's the reason why these police officers are one-sided. Imagine that footage. Binwa Mpundu told those police officers to say, immediately you police reached that area, those thugs were here, and we even saw them. is a sign that these police officers, they're escorting those thugs, meaning they know perfect way to say if the people rise against those thugs, then the police will come quickly to help those criminals to run away, and in the end they will start arresting innocent people. This is the way they are operating, these police officers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I will remain anonymous.
Anonymous,
and,
make your contribution.
Yes. First of all, I feel once we change government, anyone vying for the position of the president should have been, there should be rules that that person should have been maybe a ward councillor and an MP, so that they understand what is supposed to be done. Then the issue here that mind others. I think in which loto, so probably I'm not going to for woman India. Simokuma Maloresha from Monokulanda to Quena, no, we know. Even there are so many Tongas who got very good hearts, Abashtamingo Navantu, but it's so disappointing that the head of state will be saying that. And I wish he could even retract his statements about Gary Ngombo, which is very bad. Because Ngombo Fiash ever and the Filavate to Kananga forever not to Kafikakwe. It's very bad, and I don't even know what I can say. It's crying my beloved country, Zambia. We are just praying that the Lord be with us and protect this nation. Now, to Salangana Chokole Chalo Fecha Undalila. The Lord is going to help us to go through this. So 13th August, once to Indio, we show that Russia Nongo, to a Fumiepo. Back to back, to kind of coincide with Winonga free, so that very save and Chalo Chazambi. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make a contribution. Endita.
Hello.
Mwabombeni. Yo twabomba. Mkwai.
Na chafu akopia kutave contribute ke kama shikufia no fie ba mwa pali kwa demo das time mwali commentere posana pa bantu bambe kokwenda ku radio ba Kenneth Kamba ba mumbipiri ba ma onse ba pusana bashinguluke vila kinga mwe mu Lusaka bala ko radio yam bale kala bena chilusha tayari kala bena sonizo to ale kala ba pusana batachile wamba cyane nayo kwebere mu radio Mwamba wa mwamba.
Mkwai.
Lanjeli kona ba mama mumbipiri mwalanda kona bakamba bajapeti mwakalombe abatushinguluke ko abashira ma campaign. Again bambe kokuya ko radio na ma TV.
Thank you. That is very clear indeed. We've always argued that when the rallies come and go, there's a work of the party structures on the ground to ensure that Ichimwera continues. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Queen Pumi from California.
Queen Pumi, my co-host. Please make your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador. Wonderful job out there. I have 2 points, and the first point is on voter protection. So we have all had these, I was listening to you earlier talking about how they are training people to rig. But for us, I think taking this opportunity to use your platform to tell, like everyone must tell their neighbor to say on August 13th, once we are fast. We must all fast on that day. No drinking, no eating. No, we must deliver this election. So let's not take this lightly. Once you took a fast, okay, maybe a little water for hydration. Because if you eat or drink, you can go. Then you need a lunch break. So na lunch takwa kave. Let's just prepare ourselves. chimono ngana okwato mulwere ali ku ICU ushekulaba okufuma pa bedside takuba. So this election we have to treat it with that seriousness. Kwatuli no mulwele uleli ndo mulwele ku bedside takuli kufume fofi ne balelanda ati yo bambi bakaye mukuvota this time and that time. Let us stay vigilant, no eating, no drinking, no lunch. Our life depends on this election. Because if they do anything to steal this election, we are all going to be arrested. Na mumfoko balelanda ti bagisa kaka ba mundu bide na ba makebi. Nga ifofo ebambi bakatochitenshi. So this is a serious issue. It's a matter of life and death. All our lives depend on this election. We need to restore Zambia and bring it back to the democracy that it is. And then lastly, I think now we need to ask the Zambia police to present incident reports of people who have filed incidents or charges so that we can match up the claims of the president. Because the president can be going around the country. Do we have data? Police could not incident report. So I'm asking the Zambia police to produce evidence to back up the claims of people being beaten. Otherwise, this is a serious allegation. Actually, this is could be misleading. So I'm just asking the Zambia police to do their job and back up what the claims of the president, because they just can't be saying this without evidencing and muntu mbinga bali mukaka for risking kashinga chisungu kusina landeshi
for alarming the country.
Yes, for false alarm. Ngabali mupera sedition or something. Ukweba chiwa ulefa yokulete nkondo mchalo. Ulebe pobufi. So even him, this is serious. We need to demand that Zambia police provide evidence to say the president's claim is based on. And then they should actually provide videos of people who are claiming. Let them provide names and everything of the people who were beaten. Otherwise, this can be deemed as a false alarm and tantamount to putting to alarm the nation. Because the people who are being accused can also retaliate to this false accusation. I say it's false unless the police produce the reports. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much. That was Queen Pumi. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay. I remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Kush mukawaleta papa wazumani wakalondolole issue yama candidates mundola because valilanda kali okutira abapachola ebala iminika then president then mwaiside abwa okutira pali problem ikulu sana bali ba chairman ba kasaba muri ya party imbi but yadaye makabale bonfia of which when you divide the votes, you will see ama problems mukakwata. Yadema town ya kuade kabila mwasenda ba meya, mwasenda Ndora Centro, mwasenda na Chifugu, na kuma wati. So hii problem na you are spokesperson for Variabantu. Try to sit them down and Zumani to come on this folder so that vacancy rondorola. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The lines are buzzing everywhere, but continue to make the phone call and be brief so that we allow other people to make their contribution. The line is open. Make your call. Make your call. Thank you. Oh, it's cut. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador, I will remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, from our own observation, the president has already divided the country. Because I'm saying so, if you go to social media, you'll find that the people from Southern are the people who are actually insulting because they feel that they have the immunity. So they feel they have got less liberty to insult anyhow, and they know that there's nothing that can be done. This is just my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, the issue of division is very, very worrying. Is extremely worrying. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contribution.
Hello, Ambassador. I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, thank you so much for the program. I think I called you last time. You said you'll call me back. I was still waiting for your call.
The one that had the tip on civil servants.
Yes, Ambassador.
My dear sister, let's talk. If I don't call you, please call me just after the program. I'll give you my personal number. I'll text it.
Sure, no, I understand. Yes, I understand. So I wanted to contribute to the border protection.
Yes.
Yes, there's so much going on. Yes, there's so much going on. Just like I said last time, even here I think it's happening in the constituency where I am. People are being forced.
Tell us the area. You don't have to tell us the constituency. Maybe the district.
It's Lusaka.
Oh, you are in Lusaka. Okay.
Yeah. So they are being forced to... There were people that are going around to say they are writing names for the polling agents for a certain party. Then also my concern is on the voter protection in the rural areas. How organized are we as a party to make sure that in the rural areas our votes will be protected? Because I'm sure the other party, that's why they're taking advantage of in the rural areas, because our people are not learned and there's no one to tell them what to do. Because I hear they're being taught to say when voting, there are certain places and communities where they're conducting lessons to say they're teaching them on how to vote. So they're being taught when you're going to vote, you put an X on the person that you don't like, or which is the opposite. So you find that maybe for old people, they will tell them to say, no tamlefaya papali. So they will help them to mark an X on the person. They will tell them, oh, tamlefaya wachite, kubika X, and meanwhile, it's the opposite. They are putting that on the other candidate. So I don't know how we're going to help us. And also, like the previous caller who said the issue of candidate, we also have that issue here in the same constituency. So we're going to divide votes, of which we won't even give a chance to our candidate to win on that day. So maybe that should be addressed as soon as possible before the 13th. Thank you so much, Ambassador. I'll call back after the program.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is Movita from Kafiwa.
Movita from Kafiwa, make your contribution.
In the first place, Ambassador, I really concur with you. The issue of our chiefs being neglected is real. The way we saw Chief Nkana telling us what he has gone through, it was really worrisome. Even me, I believe that where the chiefs come from, those resources which are being getting from where they come from, at least the chiefs should benefit. We shouldn't have our chiefs subjected to abject poverty like that. Then maybe the other thing also is on the behavior of the police. It's really worrisome. Honestly, what do they even want to achieve when they go on the road, block the road? It's really, I don't know the way they behave. The way they behave is really worrisome and it's embarrassing. for a security officer to behave like that. Maybe the last thing also I would like to talk to is on our SGs. Our SGs should pull up their socks really. Like we know they have now come back in offices, but they should also concentrate on the far front areas like Mitetes. They should see to it that we have our agents there. Ambassador, I think I can end there for today.
Thank you very much, my dear brother from Kafiwe. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Mwaikala Shani Mwamba Wesu.
Awe, tuwabomba shana imwe.
Awe na bomba fe wino Nebo Caroline kuno East London.
Okay, Caroline, make your contribution.
Oh yeah, ndefo afyokulanda okweba ichalo chonse kumwezi kuzambia okweba ati bafuire baposa kwa mano ukuchita protect ama vote because uyushonongo na imapaswika okweba ati na afuire wina na ishibati pa ground tapali chakwe ana ishibati ukulusa kutalusa so the best way ngachita kuiba ama vote so imo mwebantu bonse mwebale ya kumalali konse kuso ukuya kumalali konse ukuleba makebi zulu na bamundubili mufire mwasangwa ngamwaya ifofine vyachanda ba mpumi basespumi ukwebati your day yakwebati kuchita fast to protect our votes wherever we are and behavior futi oyo mpatire kukuli bakapokola kuti babashani bakapokola bale ichinso that is very dangerous to the country because there's no way winga bakapokola ule chinge chinso etole chingira identity obeni chishi so if abafire balanda posana nefya kwebati abantu bafuire bonse ini second independence ya Mzambia history ikalembwa yakwebati bonse fwe bantu tufire twashita protect ama vote na muma areas mo bashala ndati umwakwebati tabaposa kwa manu ati mwali bama border we need to be there because this is the last chance we have got only one bullet bamwamba one ngati watitafya misu ishonongo nichapwa yaban one state and we don't want this thing we need to protect ama voter no matter what insala ya one data ipa ya abantu because tualaba fyo ukwebatawe umwenso because nalimono umwenso Mzambia otwakwata ngakwali bafye ichalo chakwebati data kuli ati umwenso need that day on 13th because ngatwa missing afela mwamba wesu nisichapwa afye shonongo yo nisichapwa afe akatushona ula so imomweme na Zambia ndelomba ko ifile chinkupitu wa muntu mule supporta patukufunia ko fya abana starting from 7 up to 13 years bekasangwako kuma vote kulefwa yuko lulu shonongo kumshonongola umutwe because achilamo ba mwamba wesu achilamo ngatwa lusa afye ngatwa to a missing of your to protect our vote. It's not about Mundubile, it's not about Makebi Zulu, it's about us Zambians. It's about us Ukulule Chalo. Because we show no nothing at one Kusafi Bamwamba Wesunish Chapwash. So mwana Zambia na ita sama Zambian ukuima ukuluishanyo ina shonongo because if anga tuwaima bonse text tukane okumuchimfya kuti tuwamuchimfya na totera mkwai.
Thank you very much. Here are the images I promised you from Mufulira, one of the biggest rallies that Mundubile and Makebi have held and their alliance partners.
Don't
our people waited right in the night. They didn't give up, as you can see. That was Mufulira that has scored, that attracted one of the largest crowds. And even late in the night, by the time our leading candidate, Brian Mundubile, was speaking, it was, right after dark, as you saw. I think Queen Pumi is back. Queen Pumi, make your contribution, my dear sister. Did you forget something?
Yes, I did. Thank
Please
you,
make your contribution.
Ambassador. Yes, please. So my contribution is regarding the internet. So we have heard rumors that the internet will be cut. So I would just like to urge every Zambian to download VPN. It's a virtual provider network for internet. What this is a secure internet connection outside of Zambia. Now, there are many companies who offer VPN service around the world, internet service, and it's free for a trial. They usually do 30 days trial, which is free. All you need is a credit card. You enter your information and then you can download it, and you are connected to the internet. The advantage is the server you are connected is outside Zambia, so ZICTA cannot interfere. So please start downloading VPN connections on your phone. If you download it today, you have 30 days, which will be free, but cancel it right after, maybe on the 15th. You can cancel it so that your credit card will not be charged. So please, this is a matter of urgency. Download VPN. It will be free. And you can only download it if you have internet. So you can't wait to on the 13th or on the 14th, on the 12th or on the 13th to download it. Because if you don't have internet, you cannot download it. So that is the message that I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Pumi. Queen Pumi, thank you. She had called earlier. She runs her own podcast and she's a leader of a political party. Thank you for your contribution, Queen Pumi. We've got a caller already here. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mwamba.
Good evening.
Yes, may I remain anonymous?
You are welcome. Make your contribution.
Yes, I'm calling you from the Eastern Province in Chipata.
Thank you.
Mwamba, I love the support that is coming from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. But then I would like to find out, are they coming to vote or they'll vote from there? That's one thing that maybe I need to know.
No, virtual voting is not allowed yet in Zambia. Or you are not remote voting or virtual voting is still not allowed. Other countries even Malawi, you can go to the Malawian embassy and vote because they allow votes from abroad and in the diaspora. Zambia is not allowed yet. So if I want to vote, unfortunately I have to travel to Zambia.
Which is our brothers and sisters that I see call here.
No, many of them are coming. Some are already in Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, even better. Now, Mwamba, you've talked about voter protection. I'm worried in the rural here where we are and how organized we are in terms of, if I look at Chipangari, I look at Bogwe, are we set in these areas? Are we prepared enough with what we have seen? No, people should go to civic centers, people should go and register from there or internet. And these are places where maybe the network is a problem. So what are we doing about it in terms of as a part? I'm just concerned as a citizen to say, how do we protect this sport? Thank you, Amma.
Thank you very much. It's our ongoing debate about how to protect the vote, and it's a constant debate on my platform here. It never goes away. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'll still remain anonymous. For voter protection in the rural areas, even in town, the Gen 20 form, a presiding officer, not to once some agents shouldn't move away the moment they start counting to say Vashta record Mundubile is leading and others to just go and celebrating to say that we they should be there to wait. Gavalemba in words like an 8,000 Balemba in figures 8,000. They should make sure that presiding officer namuwedi alemba 8,000 because ngalemba 8,000 bakalasha ako ka space kwa isavika 9 yabana 98. Efyo beba. So even in rural areas, ekobaya mukuiba sana. So if people could even have the voters register, they even know how many people are there. They want me to push kupenda. Vashtana audit wamananga carry to the number of registered voters at every polling stream, now polling station. Vaish wabalala kwa my agents. Then if I have a presiding officer to say, Saina, Pape, ni wants to stand capture for everybody. Nangwa writing gaya, but never the coquisala nefi, nobody should come in until I shot my right. Even when they start counting, not at Muntwaisa Nefin Tinya, people should circle the people who are counting so that they don't stuff in what is not supposed to be there. So voter protection is very cardinal. The Gen 20 form, that one, very, very important. Making sure that presiding officer, Gani 21,000 Alemba figures. Even in words, Alemba, Nokusana sign or not to go about to sign awe. The agents should be there to make sure that gas sign never copa. No, that not Kotama original documents. Pandunga Basha Poka space to sign them away to make them. Bakarasta old watching Jobasta out of Dama figures, Valemba Simba for Kulimba for Bakarabama votes. I submit.
Thank you very much. Be alert, an election is won or lost at the polling station. That has been our emphasis. That way, if you know that an election is won or lost at the polling station, your emphasis will be to know the work of party agents and everyone else at the polling station. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, good evening, Your Excellency Ano Mwamba.
Good evening, my dear brother. Please tell us your name and make your contribution.
This is Emmanuel. Yes, my contribution is all concerning the type of campaign that is being used by His Excellency the President, who should be, the first example to show how the campaign is supposed to be conducted. First and foremost, the way he portrayed himself and the attack that was exhibited by him towards that was very unfortunate. Mind you, that is not the first person he has attacked. Remember the issue when he went to Chirubi. He very, very bad language against Fube Mulenga, the MP for Chirubi. That is the kind of hatred that that exhibits, that example that he gives. What comes out of his mouth actually portrays that he happens inside himself. And he's the first one actually to accuse others of hating him. That whenever you see people speaking certain things concerning the things that people are not happy with, he says, according to him, says, you would give them hate. And yet, that is the one who shows that kind of things. When he speaks against certain people, can you even see the venom of hate? One would not be wrong to conclude that actually what he accuses others, that is what he is, and that's what he does. And there are so many examples that are stated. What he accuses others, actually, that is what he himself does. And it's quite unfortunate. This is the reason why, even when people try to express their disappointments about his conduct as a president and the wrong things that he has been doing in the country, he always thinks because of what he thinks of others, he thinks that they are also saying the same thing. They are also criticizing out of hatred, which is not the case.
Let
me also make a comment on the issue of the police. It's quite unfortunate that the police are behaving that way, And the whole essence of doing that is try to frustrate and bring down the momentum of the campaign that the PM and the MZ have trying to, which is going on, because you see the excitement of the people that wherever they go, and you see the crowd that are being that are coming to their rallies. Those are not people that are very from different places. Unlike what they are by whenever they're having a rally, they bring the same people from this and that place to portray the image that they have also crowds. As you also already, the
They are trying to show to it that even when they rig the election, people might think that they are actually even them at the crowds. That is what they are trying to do here. They don't have any following. You know, that you can even see the type of people that take their eyes. There is a difference between those who are going for Mageti, for the opposition. You can see the excitement of the people from different. Now we have the best way to do it.
The line is cracking, but we heard him. We heard him very clearly. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Niwamunkonge.
Bamunkonge, make your contribution.
Ambassador ine njua sakamana sana. Shishibe limonga walanda limbichira moneka kwa sita ulandire bwino. Shishibe nga chakwe bati campaigning manager for the president. Nishito ya kwea bafie pa stage na nguwe alibana background. Ambassador ndero mbako ama days to washara kwa ya nono. Oro ikalenda. Ilera ndo kwe bati pa 12 kabadea last kuli campaign. So wonke bali abantu abali pa stage bakasarangana pa 12 ni pa 13 to vota na larungula ba Davis Mwira nabakwata constituency yawo kulwa puro kutali pali ino nshita bali mukopa belt ila constituency yawo ba UPND n'abagale bayakulya bale panga amapange kuisabumba pa kuiba ma election ngawa Davis Mwira bena amapange yabo ayakusita protect ama elections mu constituency mu bayiminina bena bale kitashani because tabaliko kulya ba UPND n'abayakuloko bafumine n'okumulefu bakashita pa polling stations bakampiyongona bena kulya n'abafuma kumpika bayisa kukopa belt kula kumpika ba UPND n'abengira nomba wa chairman ba campaigning manager nishi nga barefuru ko bati abantu abasaranganye kayishi na abantu ababombeshe kwa ko bati unity ibeko kabengiremo firafina babikire ba makepi zuru panshi na bamundubiro ko bati bapange unity na mo bonse bamwamba bare yuri ko bati na lirete fitwaro na bera Zambia bare muona nombe bare yimini wakale abo abantu bonse nangu tabasangirwe ko parali palya tabakwete impact pantifera ngo abantu bararolera ba president before takora bana representative uri onse baraba kozi mumumba nabashani nabashunguruka Zambia kabaleya kuri mapu ya charo bayishiba bari abafuwairi kishe bari abumfa amapange yakwete ba UPND fira bare shindika baba president babiri tabare bafwa babashe each province not kwatama representative kuranga baya ku province ngani ku province urawe ino liko chairman of elections ewara imini na past stage no kuchita control program ababandi abashara kabasukukeko mukopa belt bari akuri voter protection bari abamo neferex kapa ground kuroko bari konka baratureterera nawe kwate nshito ikuru yakubomba kababwerere kuma constituency yabo.
Thank you very much.
Members of parliament.
Thank you, Bamunkonge Natasha sana. You've been calling for my dear brother Zumani Zimba to be back on this at head office. You've seen Zumani in his press conference today where he gave a detailed approach of what they are doing, and I hope that he's listening, not just him alone and others that can quickly. This election has to be won at all cost. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Leonid, Honorable Ambassador, Experienced Mwamba.
My dear brother, make your name and make your contribution.
Let me remain anonymous.
Anonymous, so, make your contribution.
But after 13th August, our names will be coming out smoothly because our vice president and our incoming president has announced openly to say they are going to repeal cyber law. So everyone will be free to speak their name and speak freely. So my concern is this one. A quick one, Mwamba. I don't have much time to waste. My main concern is a rhetoric from UPND side. There is a press statement from Leison Amasaka from State House to say he is worried
about the bad language on the political campaigns of these 2026 elections. If Amasaka is honest with himself, he should first lecture the president who is abusing Garim Kombo. It is unfortunate for the president to start abusing a person who's got an injury on his face. You might not know, what if the president also sustained an injury in Chingwa when he was about to be stoned? An injury you don't mock your friend. Moreover, he even went to insult him that bad. You don't insult your friend's mother. It's very painful. I'm telling you, there where you see our Honorable Garin Kombo, a very wise politician. We only standing with him in this moment, and God is going to vindicate him.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take more calls. There are people calling that are already waiting. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, Honorable Mamba. Good evening.
Good evening.
From outside the country. My concern is simple. Yes, this is my concern because I've seen a trend with HH that is using tactics to make sure that the country is declared to be a country of violence, so that he can declare elections to be cancelled. So I feel that let's read the trends and tactics that is using. We should come to zero all these. Hello?
You are online. Continue. Switch off your other device that you are listening to. It's delayed, but you're online. Make your contribution.
Yes, I was saying that let us read the trends and the fact the tactics that he's trying to use. He has found all his tactics and they have all come to zero. But now my concern is one. He has planted the army, the cadres to attack and to violate everyone. So what he's looking for is that the other group, our group, the group of Mundubile, to react and to retaliate. And once they do that, he's going to declare the election to become the thing, and this is what he wants to do. Anything that will come up, they just retaliate. That will be the end of the elections. So then to emphasize with the people not to retaliate, let them have courage even when it is hard, but at the end of the day, we'll have elections and then win. This is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear sister.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've got two more people waiting. Let's start with our caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Bamwamba Mwabombeni.
Anytime kwa imayo, ni mwebani and make your contribution.
Minewa nameless, as usual. Yamlengu.
Mkwai.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. Well, Mr. Ambassador, the stage Zambia has reached. I think the priority here is the vote protection. You know, the Ambassador, Zambians have called and no one will take Isco away as it is now. You know, it's sad that if we don't tackle so much on the issue of vote protection, we are going to lose out because of Ningalato. Hello, I don't very much agree with the lady who has just spoken about how people in villages are being misled on the meaning of a tick and also the X. These two symbols are very, very important. I think the most important thing to do right away, if there are people in villages, they should be teaching people there, going there with the drawing of whatever and show them where they should put it. Because it's true, it can be the opposite way. Because we know that even in Psalms or anything, if you get an X, it means that you haven't done well. That's the thing. So it's quite tricky, Bamwamba. Very much tricky. And it's not only in the villages. I think we should also look out in urban areas. There are also a lot of people who have never voted. Here we are talking about young people who were 16, 15 back, and now they've got their voters card. They've never voted before. They need to be taught how to actually use these two symbols. It's very important. I'm also strongly appealing to the civil servants. They should not betray Zambians. When civil servants papata, ubuntu wa bulaya nukuwela. When mukwata abana benu abanono, inchi tweshila twadila. Twami papata please. Elo na mwana nokuno kwebati abakana. Na abakanyini na fendai. So please twami papata okufana kumi papata. Aikono kuchite finte fomlefu kuchita. Chakana sana. Tulele to wafya pachalo. Mone ni chalo echichiri divided. Please, let's just look at one person or thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear sister. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
I remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
In the first nande kokuriba ku Southern Province ndela ndabali bakebimbeo ku Southern Province ka aini
Mkwai badi mini nekuria last time Mkwai
so bakebimbeo kulyata eba kuluba abalbali na mu MCC ku Southern yeba abakulyate
Mkwai
no mbaba kebimbeo abo bali mu intualeji ni balenda na mayiro twali bamono kuku kutwashile kulali ya ishile bachambuli kitwe na kalulushi nomba bala kunda kumyabo kulya ekulubene na sana kulya ekulubene okukukwa shale sha paranga kuno kumakopa belti nama polling agent tapali kuti yabo mbavu no intimidation nomba bali abakulya Baba shaba ndo baka controller lali fintu ali muito ale tisore bali mufulira Bantu bakunye babwelela kulya bale challenge bale muna background bale muna fileta ni ba enara piu bale muna fileta tika party eti imechire mpapusha ko chali mpapusha la manalo na bamwene na ikala na tondolo na tia katushi bwafya bweka bwe tisimba kambu takwete obwafya simba kambuli uli kuloni apita kale loni tapani na imo mwawe nga mwangalila simba kambuli so simba kambuli nango apenda na bena makebi na bamundu bila tafikwete na nsopo kwa cha kontrole bali shiba simba kambuli mamba bala bakebi mbewe babwelele na bale ufokufukwena bwewe kofi babwelele bayi mkumona ili enchende yabo ilia ya lependolo mufimuti 2021.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Kebimbeo is a national leader, is a member of the Central Committee, but I understand the point our people are trying to make is that the work in the next 18 days is so much. Maybe some of our senior leaders should go and consolidate the work that is happening at the provincial level. Maybe that's the point. But Kebimbeo is a national leader. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Uncle Jay.
Hey, Uncle Jay, long time, Uncle Jay. Where have you been? Did you travel to Zambia?
Yes, I am.
Ah, okay. No, that part is now a secret. Now that part is now a secret.
Oh, yeah.
Make your contribution.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I think, these elections are very, very clear in the direction that they would go. The work that remains is the very work that you've emphasized on, the issue of voter protection. For me, I'm actually calling all of us as Zambians. We've been here before. During the time of MMG, I remember then, Rupia Banda, things were a little bit tricky, just as this man who doesn't want to leave a seat. If we Zambians, of course, in an organized way, through the political structures in the opposition, guard this vote. This is our independence. We cannot afford to lose this election. We can lose it on technicalities that may not even be necessary. But if we put our works very well, this election is already decided. We can see how naturally people are coming to these rallies against all odds. But they are really enduring just to make sure that they hear the message. I think we are headed for victory, but it's not guaranteed until the very last whistle. We need to protect the vote. I also concur with those people that are calling for some of the leaders to leave the stage from the campaign trail and go back to their places so that they can consolidate these committees that are going to protect the vote. I thank you, Ambassador Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan. Our dear brother, Uncle Dan, is Uncle EMV, is Uncle Dan. We've been missing him a long time. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, I'm calling from Lusaka.
Yes, my dear brother, make your contribution.
Yes, I want to concur with the idea of voter protection. It's the key that we need in this election. There are two things which are very critical. The first one, like even in the diaspora, let's open a voter protection account where people will be contributing money to help all the polling stations so that people can sleep there. If you remember in 2011, Mr. Michael Sata instructed people that they should sleep at polling stations after they voted, and it really helped. So the same thing, if people can go and vote, then go eat in Shima at 18 hours after the close of the votes. Let them go back to the polling stations, sleep there if they have to drink something, whether it's chibuku or some whatever, eat in Shima. Let them sleep there until after the counting of the votes at that polling station is concluded. Otherwise, these guys are very much determined to rig the votes. If you remember, I was very happy that you mentioned the issue of the Mbala. But the same thing, the most recent thing that happened was the Kasama mayoral vote, where the people who are in charge of the elections, they saw the big crowds. After the people voted, they abandoned. They came back to Lusaka. Then these people went into the far-flung areas and they rigged the votes. They put pre-active ballots in the far-flung areas. So they have the same playbook. So you know how they are planning to rig. So the only thing is people should sleep at the polling stations, count the votes, and let's have our own results. Don't wait for ECZ. If you wait for Electoral Commission to tell you what the result is, then it's going to be a disaster. People have already decided. The election is already won. But the criminals want to steal it. This is the only option they have. So voter protection should be number one, Mr. Mwamba. Please, the Zambians are begging you.
Thank you, my dear brother. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mr. Mwamba.
Good evening.
No, thank you very much, sir, for bringing this very important topic. Ba Mwamba nalafu kulanda ko for the election process and the danger to this election we are facing in 2026. Ba Mwamba, I will take you back from the UPND first. One of the strategic key UPND is to suffocate the major opposition political party in Zambia, which was Patriotic Front. First, they wanted to erase the Patriotic Front on the political scene of this country. That was the first political strategy they had, and they had to use the judicial system, which it's every Zambian to like stop pretend. We saw how they were weaponizing the courts against the PF up to the last minute. And for them, they didn't know how Zambians are going to react to this. First, UPND, they have been caught up into their political strategy of holding PF as a political institution in bondage for almost 4 years. That was the second strategy UPND they had, is to make sure to bring the Bill 10 so that vice they enact the laws which are going to disadvantage the political parties. First, they created almost close to 226 parliamentary seats. For them, kukwata almost half of these seats going unopposed in this election. That was a leaguing process they wanted. They wanted already to build inside majority so that if they have made even 50 or 60 or 70 unopposed, not even independent, anybody has contested this election in those areas, they will take advantage to league election. But the rude shock they have got, and until today, they've got only few seats, maybe 6 or 8, which maybe this is it, they've declared and there will be no monitoring. So that was a second. The third one, that the dragon, they make sure they sponsored confusion between Munduvile and Makebi Zulu so that they should not come together. These are also the strategy of leading election. When now, at the last minute, Makebi and the Brian Munduvile merge and form the force, which now the Zambian people, they are waiting for. It has taken them the root shock. The other process now, which they have embarked on, you have a very critical Mwambamu election, is to provoke the opposition. Gabasta proof, you have police first. Who created the election calendar? It was this is it. And they even said the President Hakainde Hichilema is not going to be subjected to this, but he has to bear in mind they cannot crash to any political parties. Campaign President of Kusangwako. Basta create basta. Now, now, they have gone into a different levels of now provoking the opposition. But opposition react. They want to enrich the security personnel so now they barricade the campaign strategies so that they reduce the popularity of the opposition. Bamwamba Kopa Belt is a pilot project for the stronghold of UPND, which is northwestern, western, and southern. And if they are zona, if they are Lelanda, it's true. Why are they not withdraw? Police, why are they not withdrawing and stopping Brian Mundibano Makebi to go and campaign their rallies, because it's a strategy. They want them to react so that ECZ either ban them, that they are not going to continue doing politics in the remaining 3 provinces. That is the last one. Now, the other one, Mwambeo Ndela Ndako, ama election, ukuli ama MP na kwata ama polling agency na ama polling assistants. The critical issue could start educate those people who are going to monitor those elections. What is the procedure at a polling station? What are the major issues they are supposed to do and to observe? That is very critical. But at the moment, I heard somebody talks about Eastern Province. Eastern Province is the most secured province because most of the constituencies were Tonsi Alliance now Guatama candidate plus even there are some independent MPs. The critical issues is those areas where we are vulnerable and we have just got independent. But what is critical is to educate the polling agents and the polling assistants. If it's take up a day of polling station, as you have said, we are making sure is this from 20 from 11, whatever the document, they must show the things which have counted, and that's why the correct things have put on the document. That is a very critical. Otherwise, they are trying all the means and to make sure that election have been rigged. And the critical issue is to enrich where they are trying to provoke the opposition. All the polling booths or polling station countrywide, putting up the military or the police presence during the voting day is also part of rigging, because most intimidate voters so that in the opposition stronghold, people they don't go and vote in numbers. I thank you, Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, good evening, Honorable Mwamba.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, this is Donosco. I'm calling from Italy.
Oh, Father Donosco, make your contribution, sir.
Yes, please. I wanted to, the question of voting, I think there are some callers who said that they are misleading some of the Zambian people in rural areas, especially. Now, I was thinking of something to teach even our mothers and our fathers in rural areas. Why can't they adopt the flag of Scotland? You see, that place that we use to vote, actually, I know it's a bit complicated. Actually, it is called the Cross of St. Andrew. So, of course, abantu abaya kufira ku school lindusanga okubalondolera nomba in it means I cannot even underlect our cash from rural areas to understand this. You ought to want to cross area. Cross of St. Andrew. St. Andrew Amwamba, you know very well, is the first disciples who is the best disciple was called by Jesus Christ, Andrew, with his brother Simon Peter. Peter is the key saint for the Catholic Church and the Western Christian Church, Saint Peter. Saint Andrew is a symbol of the Eastern Church, Orthodox, and then we put also especially the Scotland. Scotland has now that crucifix as their symbol on the flag. So I was thinking to allow to I want to cancer. Can they adopt this way of teaching? Ilani crucifix ni cross ya kwa St. Andrew. Kaita walefu ati wamutanike kwa ti ni master of Jesus Christ over the cross. So Andrew decided to be crucified on an X, a cross which is like an X. No mashishi wenga kuti Bible mfiro pakubalondolelako baishi bachawo musalaba wakwa St. Andrew, the first disciple wakwa Jesus Christ. Because if you learn that Zambia is a Christian nation, I think
Thank you,
Father.
And that's one of the key proposals there. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mr. Mwamba. I'm anonymous. My contribution is very simple, Mwamba. Voter protection in Trilandapo. Abantu tulanda fepa kwa tema polling agencies bakale chitama monitor no kumona ama numbers ayo bale mangushani. But tefule tukula boko but any day gefe balela ndabantu tikasa fuma confusion ikrusana babe fyongo tetu mwishwe fo bachinja eno musayineko mwebantu. So abantu bafule baba sana very vigilant. Fafine ukwikatira buno bonse kwikatana fepamo nga bali 10 abantu na 20 bafukipai kana balolela ntiu ama nankani yonse yaba submitted te chimbi president language wale bonfya at the moment na abantu leiruka abantu, that's separating the country kuchita divide pakati bwino sana abantu bafire baishwa kubati ba president abapene fenga bapita ida language ile fumaida ikesa bipa kuntanshi. So abantu bafire baishwa sana, but many thing Mwamba fini bantu balandi ama MPs abayimini na maili aziro bayimini nako. They must go back now. Ama days na let them leave president Rama mate babu finish the campaigns, but they need to do a bigger job kuma constituencies yabo. That's the main thing abantu was really worried about, because everyone is trying to look at only the president, but kuma MPs nokufunda abantu ngefini bafuna kulanda bafurther how to vote, how to mark wino, because abantu bakula bamita misread. And if you Mwamba, please let also in the Shala engage senior people kula legislation no kulanda po no to develop NRP iye pantanshi, because abantu kata balelanda po chala muga kwati don't concentrate to campaign, but chifuilo poza kusana sana mano kuwela ku ground ku background no kuya sunka abantu kuma graba emina na totela mo.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for calling. Thank you all for calling.
Mundu vilele to wembia, mundu vilele to wembia. Mundu vilele to wembia, mundu vilele to wembia. Iwe yo tume chintofa, o makepile to wembia. Iwe makepile to wembia. Muno iwe mundu vilele to wembia.